We need to work on this whole front. When we're looking down, these are stretched and they get stuck in an elongated state and the fascia comes in. And all these front muscles, they get shortened. And so the pain is usually in the muscles being overstretched, and it feels good to rub them and to get the blood flow, but we need to get these loosened so these can go back to their regular length, okay? So one of my favorite ways is if you have an exercise ball. If you don't, I'll show you some different ways. They're in Ashley's book. But I like to just come on my exercise ball and I take my arms out. So we're gonna stretch that whole front line. So I'm gonna bring my arms out. I'm gonna have my hands flexed, bring my head back, and I'm just gonna bring those fingertips down towards the floor. You will feel it. You wanna breathe, relax. So make sure you have that hand pointing. Just think you're gonna stretch this whole thing as much as you can, okay? And then I'll take and I will slowly start bringing my hands towards each other. Breathing. Keep your neck relaxed. My fingers are still reaching towards the floor. And then I'll bring it back down. Just real slow, breathing. Oh, squeeze your glutes while you're doing this. You'll have a butt workout. All right, so you can do that a couple of times. When you get the fingers stretched as well, you will feel that. It's amazing. Another thing I like to do once in a while, just to get these shoulders open, is just to lay back and I grabbed a pair of hand weights. Maybe you don't need hand weights. If you try, use the light one first so you don't pull anything. And then I just relax into it. You should never have pain with stretching. It should just feel like it's melting. You see how those weights just lengthened everything out? Now they're at the floor. All right, so those, wonderful for opening this up. And then I'm just gonna kind of shake it out. And then I can take and do my back side. So I just want to, my feet are hip width apart, my knees are slightly bent, and I'm going to push out with my hands. I'm going to bend forward, hinging at the hip, looking down. I want to look back at my belly button. Breathing. Pushing forward on the ball. Letting my head hang heavy towards the floor, looking back at my belly button. And release. All right, now if you don't have a ball, if you have Ashley's book, there's a lot of stretches in her book. So we have this very simple front arm stretch, and it's on page 122. And it's just like we were on the ball, as I just open up. And I'm trying to bring my hands back so I get this full entire stretch. Breathe. You let the breath help relax the muscles. Okay, and then you can do a neck stretch. I'm going to just lean my ear towards my shoulder. I can bring my hand to help gently pull it down and then bring this other foot over. So I want to create from my right foot all the way through here, all the way through a stretch. Bring that arm out. Let's take our shoulder and get our shoulder neutral. So bring your shoulder forward, up, back, and down. So now you can feel your scapulas down. Stretch. I just came from yoga. And release. I always like to take it back to neutral before doing the other side, so I'm just going to do a forward fold. Just a slight bend in my knee, bending forward, hanging my head heavy, looking back towards my belly button, shaking my head yes and no, and bring it up. Now the other side, I'm going to bring my left foot over. So I want as much length on this whole left side as I can get. Bring this. So this is going to stretch out your traps here, your levator scapula. And bring this up. Bring your shoulder forward, up, back. And then breathe. I can feel that from my ear, through my shoulder, all the way down. You can push those hips to the left and lean. And release. Another one of my favorites is the cobra for opening up this front. And you just come down. Put your feet back. I'm going to have my feet together. And I'm going to start with my forehead on the mat. Everything is neutral. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. I'm going to bring my hands right below my shoulders. And I'm going to engage my glutes to protect my low back. And I just want to look up. Bring your hands up. Look up with your eyes. Like you're trying to get your chin up to the ceiling. It's going to stretch all these neck muscles. And release. Just relax for a minute. This time, we're going to bring our hands down by our hips. You can bring your feet a little bit apart. Bring my forehead down. And on the inhale, I'm going to push up, engage my glutes. And look up to the ceiling, raising my chin. I can look left. I can look right. And release. Take it back to neutral into a child's pose. Child's pose, I just have my toes together, knees are apart, and I just bring my belly down. Relaxed, soft belly, forehead resting, arms stretching. Inhale and exhale. So we just did a forward stretch, so now we'll stretch our spine. Just bring your knees together, grab the backs of your heels, bring your forehead down by your knees, and push those hips up, pulling on your heels. We're lengthening our spine. Release. You can come to open up this whole front line. Come into the runner's lunge. So I have my right ankle under my right knee. And I'm going to tuck my pelvis, pushing forward, looking up, bring my hands up. And I'm going to look up, pushing forward with my hips.
hold these as long as you'd like. I'm just gonna come into a neutral child's pose. Inhale, exhale. And the other side, bring my left foot up. I have my ankle under my knee. I'm going to tuck the pelvis. So I'm pushing this forward, pushing forward here. I can bring my arms up, looking up at the ceiling, leaning back, taking my eyes to the back wall. And release. Go to child's pose. So we just stretch to the front, then we do the back. In yoga, you just switch back and forth. It's compression, extension. So I'm just moving, so I'm on my sit bones, I'm bringing my feet out, I'm flexing my feet, and I want to just extend through my head. I'm going to try to bring my forehead down by my toes, but I want my spine to extend this way, not just coming down. Okay, so we're reaching towards our feet, breathing, reaching like I want to get the top of my head to my toes. You can keep a little bend in your knees. Now I'm going to pull back on my left foot and bring my chin to my chest. Release, and I'll pull back on my right foot, bring my chin to my chest, pushing through, lengthening in the back. And release. That should get this whole back laying here. And just plain and simple, always bring your hands together behind your back and extend forward. And I like also to look down into my armpit and give my neck, that's your levator scapula. Pulling down with my right hand. Release, coming to neutral. Couple shoulder rolls. And other side. Looking over, down into my armpit. Extending this left hand. Nice and gentle, melting into it. All right, well those are some stretches that I use. If you have the book, go through the book. There's a lot of great stretches to open this up. Don't know if I mentioned, but I walk through a doorway all the time and just goalpost arms, bring them up, bring them down, just to stretch. Okay, good luck.